welcome to the National Park Paintings Exhibition. I'm the artist Fitz Maurice, and I'm so honored to be exhibiting here at the Hockaday Museum of Art, affiliated with Glacier National Park. Glacier rules! 2 years ago, in 2016, was the centennial of the National Park Service, and I was painting in Glacier, and this painting is called Crown, Glacier National Park, and it merits its title. It's a giant park. It's a monumental beauty. It is the crown of the continent. Crown is my crescendo to the National Park Paintings Exhibition. Our national parks are like precious gems to me, each one uniquely different in its earthly wonders. You may notice that each one of my paintings is as different as the parks they represent. I have been on the quest for 7 years now, traveling to each of the 59 national parks to capture them both iconically and to reveal their unique wonders. This oil painting is entitled Quest, Sequoia National Park, California. It was the very first of the national park paintings. The title of this oil painting is Utopia, Channel Islands National Park, California. This is Rainforest, Olympic National Park, Washington. Aloha, Haleakala National Park on the island of Maui. Birth, Volcanoes National Park, Hawaii. Why did I title it Birth? Because what you're looking at in this painting is where the lava meets the ocean. And when you have that hot lava meeting the cold sea, you have an eruption of ash that towers up into the sky. What's amazing is this is going on right now on the island of Hawaii. In fact, my friend Mindy from Maui, who invited me to stay with her while I was capturing this national park, called me up to tell me that the exact spot, this painting's exact spot, documents exactly where the eruption is happening on the island of Hawaii. I went to both national parks in 2017. Haleakala and Volcanoes. People ask me, how did I begin the quest? Well, it was just a natural evolution. I went to the national parks to paint and be inspired. This was the first one, a forerunner to the National Park Painting Series, Mount Zion, Zion National Park. So this was one of the very first paintings that brought it to mind that I should begin to create the National Park Paintings series. And that's what I'm doing today. But Mount Zion is a forerunner. If you look on one side of the painting, you'll see that the light is shining. And if you look on the other side of the painting, you will see the dark side of the mountain. I've learned as an artist when I'm painting outside not to fight against the light, but to let all the light in as it changes throughout the day. And in that way, these paintings, they communicate whether they're under a spotlight or have natural daylight. So it's advantageous to bring all the light into your paintings that you can. Here's another park from Utah. This title is Entranced, Canyonlands National Park. And here we are in New Mexico, Serene Bandelier National Monument. This was a commission piece, and what I'm really excited about with this painting is you can tell that we're leaving winter and we're going towards spring, and there's all the snow, and yet there's sun lying on top of that cold snow. When I'm on the quest, I'm a landscape artist. I find that unique and ultimate spot in the park after searching, and I make a complete drawing. These are charcoal drawings, and they take a month of work, and I like to establish the composition and the contrast and whatever plant life or immigrating bird is indicative of that park. So first I make a finished drawing, and then I'm ready to start the oil painting. And if you remember when I was talking about Volcanoes National Park in Hawaii, this is the drawing that I finished before I started the oil painting. These original charcoal drawings each take about a month of work as I layer the charcoals to get intense darks and light contrasts. Sleeping Dragon, Mount Rainier National Park, Washington. Sapphire, Glacier National Park, Montana. And Pure, Crater Lake National Park, Oregon. The title of this print is Source, Grand Teton National Park, Wyoming, and it shows how water is the source of all life. The snow melts, feeds the rivers, and the rivers feed the trees, and the circle of life continues. This is Cradle, Haleakala National Park in Maui. And this is a plein air painting. This painting was created on the top of the crater, looking down into it. And I was working with water-based oils. And it was so hot and windy, and the paint dried so fast, so you get the sense of the wind and the light and the energy up there. This is a gouache painting. I also paint in gouache. So the oil paintings are all about texture, and the gouache paintings are all about line. So I'm pushing the right side of the brain and the left side of the brain, and hopefully there's an explosion of creation in between. Another gouache painting is Trinity, Grand Teton National Park, Wyoming. How is gouache different from watercolor? Gouache has more pigment in the paint, so you see you can get very strong, bold areas of color. This is a large framed print of the original oil painting, Crown, Glacier National Park, Montana. I'm particularly pleased with this large print because it shows all the detail and the texture of the paint. The following prints you're going to see are all limited edition of prints. Majestic, Yosemite National Park, California. And I got to paint it as a winter wonderland. Extremes, Death Valley National Park, Nevada. This park has amazing mysteries. Rejoice, Saguaro National Park, Arizona. This is a great park to see petroglyphs by the ancient Native Americans. Imagine, Grand Teton National Park, Wyoming. In this painting, my goal was to capture that amazing spotlight effect when the sun sets on the Grand Tetons. Revelation, Bryce Canyon National Park, Utah. When I'm on the quest, I always get the best. And I was in Bryce Canyon in May, and can you believe it snowed? So I got to paint white-capped orange and yellow ochre pinnacles. Looking down into that crater, you will witness figures if you look very closely. Diablo Lake, North Cascades National Park, Washington. This is a great park to witness autumn in all its majestic colors. And then in December, there's thousands of eagles that congregate to eat the salmon chum. Rush, Colorado River, Arizona. You know, the Colorado River is one of the arteries of the United States. And when I was river rafting, it was so hot, I jumped into that green emerald water and embraced cooling off. Windows, Arches National Park, Utah. This is a very surreal park. And you see that ancient wall? The wind over millions of years has carved windows right through the wall. Gold Rush, Kings Canyon National Park, California. Here we're seeing the oneness of all life. The golden leaves float down into the river, which rushes to the sea. Waterfalls, Shenandoah National Park, Virginia. This is a triptych. All three pieces are one work of art. The top piece is called Dawn. It's an oil painting of the iconic waterfalls that you'll find in Shenandoah. The second piece is the original charcoal drawing. And the third piece is called Twilight. And it's an oil painting. And you see the waterfalls are falling. If you look deeply into that charcoal drawing, you'll see figures that are entwined. And the longer I spend in the woods, the more I see the relationships of trees. This oil painting is called Joy, Joshua Tree National Park, California. The redwoods are the tallest trees in the world, and yet they don't have deep roots. What sustains them? Each other. There's so much to learn from trees. The redwoods, they connect their roots, and if one tree sways, they all sway. They work together. That's a great lesson to learn. Have you ever been to Great Basin National Park in Nevada? Well, there you're going to see 5,000-year-old trees. These wild and woolly wizards are amazing. And the thing that I learned from them is they're thousands of years old and the stories they can tell, and yet they still have new growth. Isn't that amazing? So much to learn from nature. Always remember that our national parks are our parks. They do not belong to our government. As Theodore Roosevelt said, the national parks are the people's parks. Our national parks are also the greatest branch of peace that America offers to the world. A world of all different kinds of people that are traveling far to be immersed in our national parks, because there are fewer and fewer places and landscapes on our planet that are pure and pristine. Sleeping Dragon, Mount Rainier National Park, Washington. This is a regal mountain, and so I painted it in red purple and blue purple for the regal colors. This is the most dangerous volcano in the world. It's an amazing park. I want to do all I can to help promote and protect our national parks. They are a priceless treasure. They are our legacy. They are our inheritance. Let's come together and always be very careful and mindful of what's happening to our parks. They are vulnerable. And I am very encouraged by all the Americans from coast to coast who love to share with me their great stories. Their greatest memories of their families and their friends are in the national parks. And this is Sapphire, Glacier National Park, Montana. This is the painting I created on the quest. This is part of the National Park Painting Series. I hope as an artist, I bring all of you closer to beauty, closer to truth through my art. Thank you very much.